we're here for the launch, the media launch anyway, of the new Cricket Southern Bayside competition. Well, we're in palatial surroundings at Cricket Victoria's headquarters at the Junction Oval. Behind us, they're getting ready for the start of the new season in the Premier Cricket. With St Kilda, of course, very lucky to be here to host their matches when they get an opportunity throughout the season. Victoria, of course, will host a lot of matches as well. But we're here for the launch, the media launch anyway, of the new Cricket Southern Bayside competition. No matches today, unfortunately, because some of the ground's not quite ready to be played on turf. Hopefully next weekend, fingers crossed. Let's start having a look at all the teams, and we're in the top division, the Premier Division, and why not start at the top? The team, I suppose, with the mark on their back, and they're seen as the team that everyone will be hunting this year, and that, of course, is South Caulfield. And I've got two of their stars, their captain, Will, and also Dave from the South Caulfield cricket team with us. Will, good to have you with us.
Thanks,
you are the reigning champions. Do you feel more pressure on you this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good pressure though. Coming in as captain this year, it's certainly a hard act to follow from our previous captain Luke, who's now helping out as coach with Dave. So yeah, pressure's there, but it's good pressure. We're some bloody good teams in this competition, so they'll all be coming for us. So we're ready. Had a great pre-season. Away we go.
Have you been captain at any level in cricket before?
Yeah, I was a tremendous under-12s captain, Dan.
Right. So what did you learn from that experience? It was only a few years ago,
well,
so you'd remember it all, wouldn't you?
Yeah, dealing different cultures, different people. I can deal well with the parents, so I'm good with the parents.
Good.
A couple of young fellas in our team, so dual skills there. But can lean on. So when you got the coach in the same team, there's always a lot of help. So it's great. I'm looking forward to it.
And Dave, as coach, how much pressure is on you as a coach and a player compared to maybe someone who'd be coaching and playing in a football match?
In a football match? Well, I think we go into this year after a ripping pre-season, much like last year. Kept the same processes set up. We've got a pretty similar list, had some big ins, which is important as well. Elliot Bradley, I've seen today, is making his debut for Paran in the senior ones, which is exciting for him. So as a young bloke that's come through our system. So, look, the pre-season's been elite, and Will's driven that from the playing group, and I've been fortunate enough to have some good men with Luke Russell also beside me to set that up and ready to rock and roll. So pretty pumped to get into it next week.
When you win a premiership and you're the top team in the top division, how hard is it to stay on top?
The motivation factor, you've got to make sure that you keep setting new challenges and goals for the blokes that are coming back year on. We've got a pretty strong list, and we've been together for some time now. So I think now, some of these guys have been at the club for 5, 6, 7 years together. And as a senior group, it helps with continuity, and then that motivation factor. But these blokes, they love the club, they love playing with one another. So it's not hard when you see them pre-season and you see them in the nets trying to take one another's head off, and how competitive they are internally. And then going out on a Saturday against opposition raring to go, they drive themselves. So we're pretty fortunate as a coaching group to have that list and the boys that are driving that.
You seem to have a great culture, Will. That seems to be one of the major reasons why you're always a strong team.
Absolutely, yeah. We certainly, good teams get on well on the field and off the field. So those are, I know you asked Dave about last year and going for that premiership again. The pure elation of winning it, that's enough motivation in itself, and particularly we do get along really well. So yeah, the culture's there. That comes from not only the playing group, but the strong committee and some really good people around the club in that regard. So yeah, absolutely, fantastic culture.
You've got a new team coming in, Morty Alec this year, and they've come from the Dandenong competition. They've got a few Sri Lankan boys. Nuwan Kulasekara, of course, is their number one man, I suppose. Yep. He was at one stage the best one-day international cricketer in the world. Yep. Must be looking forward to playing against him. It'd be a great challenge for you, Dave.
It's fantastic. I mean, you have a look at the ins over the competition in the pre-season, and the actual comp itself is becoming a desirable league for a lot of elite cricketers, domestic international cricketers, and it's exciting. It's this little pocket in Melbourne, Victoria, and again, I've played within the VTCA now, Cricket Southern Bayside, and over the last sort of 7 years I've been involved. It's just come on leaps and bounds, and to play against blokes that have represented their country, very, very exciting, and you're going to have no greater challenge, so we're pretty pumped up.
Well, I was told last year he took 8 wickets because they reckon he was too good to get an edge off. So you'd be hoping, you'd be beating the battle all the time. You're hoping that's the case when he takes on you guys.
No, I'm a big fan of Nuwan. I'm certainly a bit of a Sri Lankan fan with my half Sri Lankan background. So I'm very excited. I'm actually a bit of a fan, so I might try and get his autograph pre-game and then
put him off.
Hopefully he can slide one down leg. Yeah, but he's got a mean in-swinger, so we're ready.
Are you disappointed, boys, you're not starting today? I mean, we've had a fairly wet September, haven't we? It was a terribly cold and wet August, and it's put, I suppose, a lot of the turf wickets in the suburban clubs and suburban competitions behind the 8 ball a bit, hasn't it, Dave?
It has. Look, we were fortunate enough last week to get over to your lawn on turf and have a really good hit out against Mount Waverley, and again today we've got an intra-club match on synthetic up the top oval at Princess Park, so that'll be super competitive. But yeah, look, I mean, it seems the trend is most years round 1 is called off, so you sort of actually align we have anyway, we've aligned our pre-season to look and cater for the fact that we won't be playing today, so that's occurred. We certainly will get a big hit out, which the boys are, I know, starting this morning. We'll have a huge day today back at Princess Park and roaring to go round 2, which will be 1 next week.
So, Will, would you prefer that maybe they just say we'll start the season the second week in October, knowing that's not likely, unless you have a warm September, which we haven't had for a little while, that it's not likely you'll get ahead or get on the first week in October?
Yeah, look, it's not a bad point. I mean, as Dave said, we pretty much prepare for this first week to be, unavailable. It's pretty hard for these curators with the footy boys going off, in the last couple of weeks. Look, it might be an idea for the future. I don't know. I mean, you might as well have it there just in case the grounds do come up. But yeah, as you say, we're ready for round 2, which is now round 1. Either way, it doesn't matter. We're pretty keen to play. The extra week's not too bad. We can sort of sharpen up skills a little bit more. It's never going to hurt us, an extra week off. But yeah, we'll see what happens next year.
Good on you, boys. Thanks so much for joining us. South Caulfield are the team that everyone wants to beat. They're the reigning premiers in the top division in the Cricket Southern Bayside competition. Great to have you with us today on the Media Day. Enjoy your practice match today and good luck for the season when it gets underway, hopefully next week.
Thanks,
good on you, Dave. Good on you, Will. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Get your GameFace on.
We are highly competitive in all areas of banking activity. We've given back over $1,350,000 to community organisations.
We give 80% of our profits back to the community.
So why don't you come and join us, and together let's make a difference.
What, how, why, who? It all begins with you.
This is the Media Day to launch the new season in Cricket Southern Bayside. Beautiful backdrop behind us. We're at the Junction Oval. We're in one of the media rooms at the beautiful Junction Oval, the home of Cricket Victoria, now the home of the St Kilda Saints, who are taking on the Greenvale Kangaroos in the opening round of the district cricket season. My name's Dan Lonergan from GameFace, and let's look at the First Division and Mentone. Good year last year, runners-up in both Division 1 white ball and red ball grand finals. Simon Cormie is one of their stars. He also represented the Cricket Southern Bayside competition in the Battle of Bayside against Seeker last season. Simon, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to the new season?
Yeah, very much so. It's going to be a cracking year. I think the competition's risen another level again, so it's looking forward to getting involved.
And playing on the turf wickets, how much of a challenge is that?
Oh, it is up and down based on the grounds that we obviously play on, and council run grounds and stuff like that. But overall, I think the standard of the wickets has been pretty good, so I can't complain too much.
Not surprised that you haven't started in the first week of October. It tends to be the case where you don't start, do you?
Not surprising at all, mate. But with the renovations only being done a couple of weeks ago, it makes it very difficult to get the wickets up. So, look, we'll go again for next week and get some one days in, I think.
And I mean, the other issue has been that we've had a pretty wet September and a very wet and cold August, which doesn't help the prep either, does it?
No, that's it. We need some hot weather. So once that comes, we'll get some grass on the wickets and we'll get some cricket done.
Good year for your team last year. Where do you need to improve to go one step better, which is win a couple of titles after being runners-up?
Absolutely. So, look, maybe just more consistency across the board with both the bat and the ball. I felt like we had a pretty good season. We did finish on top of the ladder. We made finals in both the formats that are offered. So, it's probably just that little extra 5% from each sort of player, and yeah, we can. I'm pretty confident we can go one better.
Who's the team to beat
this year?
Other than yourselves?
Yeah. Look, we've got. It's a very even competition, so anyone can really beat anyone on their day. But Murrumbeena are the ones that sort of stick out every year as a really top priority to try and knock off. And then you've got Aspendale obviously won it last year, so they'll be one to knock off as well, I reckon.
And you represented the CSB in the Battle of Bayside. What was it like representing the association?
Actually, really good, really good. It's not often you get to play with people that you usually play against, so it was actually a good experience for all concerned, I'm sure, that played in that game, and you get to play against the best in other competitions as well. So definitely a positive experience from my end.
Does that help you when you play against them in the club fixtures, that you know a little bit more about them, a bit more about their strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, I reckon, because there's conversations that are had, during that day as well with the players that you're playing with on that particular day. So yeah, you do get a little bit of intel, which any intel's good intel.
And what do you love most about the Mentone Cricket Club?
It's a very inclusive club. It's the vibe down there is extremely positive. It's got an excellent off-field culture as well. So plenty of events down there. Always an opportunity to have a beer. Love to enjoy their cricket as well. So multiple reasons why I love Mentone, and it's a cracking place to be.
And I've said this a lot at the media days that we've done on GameFace over the last few days. So many cricket clubs close to each other geographically.
Yes,
How do you all survive? And most importantly, how do you thrive and continue to prosper year in, year out? Yeah,
so obviously sponsors is a huge one for us. We wouldn't be able to survive with the sponsors that we've got. So, in relation to, survival levels, there's a lot of kids around that sort of Bayside area, a lot of schools as well. So involving yourself in those, extracurricular activities and school holiday programs is key. Building a juniors is also a massive part of how that clubs can survive, to be able to continue to prosper. And we also look overseas to get some cream, some.
And they all seem to want to come, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone wants to get away from England.
Yes, it's too cold at that time of year.
Absolutely. December's not a good time to be alive down in England, so they come across here and have themselves a good time.
Which is the way to go, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, look, there are many different nations that do, come and that we play against on a sort of annual basis. We had one from Vanuatu last year who made the transition across, who was our keeper bat. We've got ties to multiple different countries, and Vanuatu is obviously, that was the first one that in our league anyway that's come across, and look, we'll look anywhere, and if it's the right fit for us, we'll pull the trigger on it.
The other thing too with the kids coming through, how much has T20 helped? It can be a detriment, I reckon, to your technique, but I think in regard to getting more people to follow up the game, particularly young people, it is a positive, isn't it? I
think so. I think that you can teach a defence, but you can't teach an attack. So if you learn to hit the ball at an early age, that's going to be a positive thing. So T20 has taught that because of the time constraints within the game. So I think it also helps with bowlers as well, figuring out lines, lengths and stuff like that to play against attacking options, especially in the T20 and the one-day format. I think it's a positive,
Good on you, Simon. Thanks for joining us. Good luck to Mentone this year. They're obviously very well established, very well set. Just as you said, 5% improvement.
That's it.
It's easier said than done. You're a chance of being in contention to win the title this year. I appreciate your time. Look forward to chatting to you regularly on GameFace throughout the season.
Thanks, Dan.
Good on you, Simon. Thanks very much. Simon Cormie joining us from the Mentone Cricket Club. They're in First Division in the Cricket Southern Bayside competition. They'll officially start, weather permitting, fingers crossed, next weekend. Get your GameFace on. Hi, Dan Lonergan here from GameFace. Do you love your cricket, especially the Southern Bayside Cricket Competition, the Seeker and the Mornington Peninsula Cricket Competition? And are you keen on doing some commentating or learning how to commentate on a volunteer basis? If so, we have a role for you. GameFace every week is broadcasting a game of the day in the MPCA, the Seeker and Southern Bayside Cricket competitions. And you can have the best seat in the house describing the action of some wonderful local cricket to our growing audience. If you're interested, contact the GameFace inbox now and get your GameFace on. Good to be here at the Junction Oval, the home of Cricket Victoria and the home of the St Kilda District Cricket team as they kick off their season today. And we've got the launch on GameFace of the Cricket Southern Bayside season, starting their matches next week. Some of the wickets, some of the grounds not quite ready yet after a pretty wet September, which has been a bit disappointing for those teams who are obviously chomping at the bit, looking to get their season underway, including Murrumbeena in Division 1 of the Cricket Southern Bayside competition. And Jimmy Handley, I'll say this in a very nice way, one of their stalwarts. He came over to play 1 year of cricket from England to Australia, but as we know, it's God's own country, and he has stayed, and now he's a naturalised Aussie. Jimmy, good to have you with us. Welcome to GameFace. New season just around the corner, and no doubt you can't wait for it.
Yeah, can't wait. There's been a great season of cricket in the UK at the moment. So taking a lot of the benefits from being English over there, and really looking forward to getting into it this season.
Well, I believe you were over there. You said I think it was the hottest day on record, 38.1. Most of England was melting, but you're used to 40 degrees. You would have thought, how good's this?
Yeah, it was 38.1, and it was the first day of the first Test match against Ireland in the summer.
Right.
So yeah, the UK was melting. Like it was crazy, but yeah, I've been here for a couple of years, so I'm hardened to it now.
Do you miss it, England, or are you now an Australian and it's just good to go and visit every now and again?
You miss the sense of humour. You miss the banter. The cricket's different. It is so different. Here, the 2-day cricket is a long, tiresome affair when it's 38, 40 degrees on a Saturday. But
so how do you cope with that if you're not that used to it?
Well, being a pasty pom,
yes.
I'm hating everything above 25 degrees.
Right.
However, I just kind of suck it up and get used to it, really. But the cricket is so different. That's probably the one thing I have noticed. But every year there's a couple of English mates that come over and I've played against. So it does keep me interested, and yeah.
So you came here for 1 year originally.
Yep.
What made you stay? Love, good job?
No,
great club?
I actually got sponsored by a company.
Right.
So I got sponsored by Tabcorp, the gambling and betting company. So I was with them for 6 years, and they sponsored me through visa, and kind of fast forward, I've got a passport, bought a house, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a great place to be.
Are you a batsman or bowler?
Do you know what? I'm kind of one of those bits and pieces cricketers.
Very handy cricketer, Jimmy.
That doesn't really excel at much, but yeah.
Does his job.
Yeah, the closest would be like a Paul Collingwood. Like a little bit of batting, a little bit of bowling, runs around the field. Just kind of bit of a team player.
What makes Murrumbeena a good club, and why have you managed to stay there for so long?
Murrumbeena are a really family-orientated club. They've got a cracking junior section with a couple of hundred youngsters that go every Friday evening. They've got 4 teams. The facilities are great. The road, when it comes to about November time, is an absolute road. The wicket is a road. Outfields are very quick, and probably the one plus thing for being at Murrumbeena is we were lucky to receive a grant of, I think it was $5 million by the
$5 million
for a new pavilion. So between the football club, the netball club, and the cricket club, we'll be having a 2-storey pavilion. I think it starts next year.
Well, I've been there obviously to call some football and watch the footy, and they are good facilities, but obviously the upgrade will make it even better, won't it? Yeah. So
generally in the winter, there's probably maybe 200-300 people that watch the footy. Slightly less during the summer season, but yeah, it's a really good club. It looks after you well. There's good social functions, and the standard of cricket's pretty good as well. And as you say, it's a good competition. Who do you see as the team to beat this year, other than Murrumbeena, of course? So obviously, taken from last year, Aspendale are played the best cricket last year, as showed by those guys winning the league. So they're still going to be very strong. There's a little bit of unknown with McKinnon coming down. We've usually had really good games against Mentone and Brighton, so it's always been pretty even. So kind of looking at face value, there's about maybe 5 or 6 teams which are pretty even Steven. So taking it from last year, it's definitely a a stronger comp than last year.
Have you learned all about the neighbouring rivalry? Because there are so many teams, which I've just sort of found out doing this role this year over the last few weeks, that they're all so close to each other geographically, aren't they? 5, 6, 7 kilometres down the road. Most people would know each other, wouldn't they?
Yeah, like being at Murrumbeena for 8 years, you do play against a lot of the lads year on year out. So, yeah, a lot of the kind of the teams down the Nepean Highway, you play against every Saturday. So it's there's some familiarity. You've made pretty good mates against them. So, yeah, for me, it's a great comp, and like where it's gone over the last couple of years and taking it to one-day mode and colours and different rules, I think it's great.
And you like the T20?
Love the T20. Yeah. If I could have my way, it'd be 1 day in T20. I'd get rid of 2 day.
2 day? Too much for you?
Can't stand it.
Can you just play 1 day in T20? Do they allow players to do that, or if you're committed, you've got to play all 3 forms?
Oh, look, for me, I love playing cricket. The choice is either play cricket or spend more time with the missus. So even if it's probably playing 2 day stuff.
I'm sure your partner's a very nice person.
She won't be watching this, so I'm good.
That's all right, good.
Yeah, I'd rather play 2 day stuff anyway. So.
Very good. Oh, well, hopefully you're not separated or she hasn't kicked you out of the house if she has watched this when you get home.
I might be after this, yeah.
Good on you, Jimmy. Well, thanks for joining us. Good luck to Murrumbeena this year, and we can't wait to see how you go, and appreciate you coming down to the media day today.
Good man, thank you.
Good on you, Jimmy, joining us from the Murrumbeena Cricket Club. We'll have more shortly on the media day to kick off the new season for Cricket Southern Bayside here at the Junction Oval very shortly. Get your GameFace on. Hi, Dan Lonergan here. GameFace is looking for aspiring camera operators to be part of our local cricket coverage on a voluntary basis every Saturday, which could lead to having a role in our 2020 footy commentary and beyond. GameFace will be covering the Seeker, Mornington Peninsula Cricket Association and Southern Bayside every week, and that involves a match of the day from each of those 3 competitions each Saturday. This is a great opportunity to work for a growing social sports media business with an excellent reputation and start a career in a very exciting industry. If interested, contact the GameFace inbox now, and remember, always get your GameFace on. Wonderful to be here at the Junction Oval, the home of Victorian cricket, for the media day launch of the Cricket Southern Bayside competition for season 2019-2020. The season not kicking off today. Some of the wickets not quite ready. They play on turf. It'll kick off, fingers crossed, next weekend. Well, there are a couple of clubs that have come across from the Dandenong Cricket Association, and one of them, it's great to have them with us today too, St Brigid's and Louis, which is based down in the Mordialloc area, and Liam Harris is the co-captain. They'll be playing in First Division. Liam, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Now, you are co-captain. The fact that you are a co-captain of that team, what does it mean? Will you alternate the tossing of the coin? Will you alternate with field positions, or do you just work with your co-captain to get it right every week?
No, I think, so the other co-captain obviously is Lockie Brodie. We've been there since, under 12, so we have a fair understanding of each other, and I think we'll blend in really well. We've got the same ideas. We've always worked together the last couple of years, kind of with ideas as well, even though we weren't captains. But this year's a good opportunity for us to express our ideas a bit more, and I think it'll work really well, to be honest. I think we'll bounce off each other really nicely.
Do you think co-captaincy can work in cricket in the long term?
I think it can, yeah. I think it's underused, to be honest. I think to be a good cricket team, you need 3 or 4 or 5 good senior heads. So I think me and Lockie, we're still kind of young, but we've got 3 or 4 quality senior heads around us that can help us as well. So I think, a team isn't based around 1 or 2 players. So I think you need as many heads as you can, really, to have ideas.
Although it wasn't official, I think unofficially Australia had Steve Smith. Warner was the vice-captain, but Adam Bogus was basically his co-captain. I think that he used to make a lot of the decisions. And Steve was the one, I think Adam would load the gun and Steve would fire the bullet. So,
yeah, exactly.
You guys probably are more front on than that, aren't you? Because you've actually said publicly that you are co-captains, but in that situation it's more of a clandestine type operation. So you obviously make the decisions together, do you?
Yeah, we do. We'll plan out, decisions kind of every week, have a bit of a plan, bit of a strategy. We'll probably go through that more next week in the lead up to a game. But as you saw, when Ricky Ponting and Matty Hayden and Gilchrist and stuff played, they all could have been captain back then. So, and that's what good teams are based around, really.
And changing competitions, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, fantastic. I think we're in DSCA for a few years, had some success there, a couple of grand finals. The last in recent times, won the T20 flag last year against some quality Turf 1 team. So, but this time it's a good opportunity to come in the local area where we'll verse teams like Mordialloc and Aspendale, where we can reignite a bit of a rivalry that we've had, a few years ago. So it'll be good fun.
So you've been looking to come in for a little while. Has it taken a couple of years for you to come in, or was it something you decided in the off-season, we've got to have a go now?
I think we discussed it briefly last year.
Yeah.
We went ahead and did DDCA again, and then a couple of things happened that, really encouraged us to go this way. And I think it's the best opportunity for the young kids coming through that want to play senior cricket as well. And I think it's going to be really, really good for us, to be honest. Yeah.
Have you played a lot of cricket on turf?
Myself or the team? Yeah. I've been on turf for about 6 or 7 years, so yeah, I'm used to it.
How do you adjust the way you play depending on the wickets? Particularly when, as a captain, you're captaining players that haven't had a lot of experience on turf. How do you encourage them or teach them?
I think each to their own, really. If you're a batsman, you obviously assess the conditions pretty quickly with some quality bowlers in this competition. Obviously, there will be. So, if the pitch is tough to bat on, you obviously have to take your time. If it's a bit easier, you can play a bit more shots early. And, me and Lockie and Jeremy Hayes has been the captain of our team for many years. He'll be back for another year. A couple of other senior heads like Mark Jamison and Matt Hayes. One of our recruits from a couple of years ago, Vab. We're all, we can all give advice to these young guys coming through. So I think each to their own though. Everyone has their own technique. So I think you have to adjust personally to yourself when you get out there. And
excuse my ignorance, just getting to know this competition. Is Brigid St Louis a school? Is that right? Or?
Yeah, it is a school. Yeah.
Right.
So St Louis is a school and St Brigid's is a school as well. So I've got some affiliation with them as well.
So you joined forces a few years ago to become the one team?
Yeah.
And it obviously works pretty well. Yeah, there's a lot of cricket teams in that area. What do you think makes your cricket team stand out and be a good cricket team?
I think we're so close, not just from the ones, but like the twos, threes, fours. I know the fours really had a close bond when they won back-to-back flags a few years back. So I think all through ones to the fifths, maybe even six, and we got the veterans running around in the senior, veteran comp this year. So that'll be good. The Masters, sorry, I was looking for the word. I think got 3 under-16s teams this year. So I think we get a lot. Like our president Noel Fitzgibbon's really big on getting the kids into the club and really developing them. And I think that's what we stand out as, a really close-knit club where we can develop kids and not afraid to chuck our 15-year-old into the ones if you think he's got a future there. So.
Well, it is the future of the kids, isn't it? I suppose the only thing is burnout. You don't want to have them play too early
much cricket,
at a young age.
No, you're right. It depends how much you love it as well. Some kids might love it more than the others. I remember I played when I was 15. I really loved the enjoyment of playing ones as well. So it's something that you can strive towards. There'll be kids that get to go in the twos this year and that might not be ready, but they might be. So you might as well chuck them in, and then if they do well, you never know. You want to aim high and try and play ones cricket because that's where you want to play. If you love your cricket, you want to play at the highest level. So,
what do you know about the opposition that you'll be coming up against in the new competition?
Well, obviously we're very close to Assie and Matt and Morty, so I've got a few boys I know in those two teams. I know obviously Assie won the premiership last year. I was down there watching, so that was really exciting. I know Mentone and Murrumbeena are going to be very solid. McKinnon, all the teams I've heard have got recruits and they're going to be solid. So there will be no easy games, and we have to come prepared every week really. So I know that for a fact that it's going to be a strong comp. So. And
a change is as good as a holiday, isn't it? I suppose it'd be good mentally to be in a different competition.
Yeah.
Certainly nothing against the Dandenong Cricket Association, but to go to a different comp, I suppose, gives you a bit of a pep in your step in a lot of ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think it's, as I said before, it's really exciting. I think just especially for our kids that want to come through and play senior cricket, I think it's going to be massive for them and really enjoyable to play. When you've got an away game 10 minutes away, I think it's going to really help that.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
Good on you, mate. Thanks so much for joining us. Good to have the co-captain, Liam Harris, with the St Brigid St Louis cricket team. They've got a huge season coming up. They've come across, as we said, to Cricket Southern Bayside. They're playing in the first division. Let's hope it goes well and you get on the park next Saturday and get your season underway. Thanks for joining us.
Like this,
I'll be magnificent. Good on you, mate. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll come back with more shortly in the media day to launch the Cricket Southern Bayside season for 2019-2020 for GameFace.
Get your GameFace on.